There are two main types of mountain bikes, a hardtail and a full suspension, sometimes referred to as a softtail. Hardtail bikes have, hard tails. This means that the rear of the bike is one solid piece as opposed to having a rear shock to help absorb some of the huge chunks in the trail. To afford the rear shock, bike companies have to sacrifice a few things. Today, in another bike comparison video, we will be seeing what Canyon compromises to be able to include the rear suspension. The Canyon Stoic 4, in my opinion, is the definition of a hardcore hardtail. With the 140mm of travel in front and the very slack geometry, this bike will be able to hit anything. All of this for the high price of $1,999. It could be better just to get a full squish. Well, for the same $1,999, you could get the Canyon Neuron 5. This bike has 130mm of travel in both the front and the rear. This bike is very playful for a very playful ride. Let's see how these two bikes, both priced at $1,999, compare. What shortcomings should you expect when buying a modern full suspension over a hardtail? Let's begin with the fork, as it is the first shortcoming Canyon took to afford the rear shock. The fork on the Stoic is a RockShox Pike, which is the top end of the suspension in the 130 through 150mm of travel. The Neuron comes with the low-end RockShox Judy Silver with the 130mm of travel. This is really disappointing to see, and I see what they did. They had to take some shortcomings, but I still think they could have at least gone with the little higher-end RockShox Recon. Another shortcoming Canyon took is with the drivetrain. The Stoic comes with the lower middle range SRAM NX Eagle, which is 12 speed and has an 11 to 52 cassette. The Neuron comes with the SRAM SX Eagle 12 speed, which does come with the same 11 to 52 cassette as the Stoic, but it is lower end. You won't notice much of a difference, but definitely the NX is a lot smoother. The last shortcoming I'm going to mention are with the brakes. The Stoic comes with the SRAM Guide T 4-piston front and rear brakes. They have 200mm rotors in the front and 180mm rotors in the rear. The Neuron comes with the Shimano MT200 2-piston brakes, but doesn't specify rotor size. The Shimano MT200s are a little upsetting as there are a lot better brakes out there that they could have chosen from. Of course, there is the difference of the weight. The full suspension will be heavier as the rear shock does add some weight. This means that the hardtail will be able to go faster as there is less weight holding it down. However, because the full suspension adds rear weight, you will be less likely to go over the handlebars as the shock will keep your rear wheel grounded. Now, there are more parts that differ between the two bikes, but they're not so much a downgrade, so I don't feel the need to mention them. If you want to go see them, check out Canyon's website to learn more. So let's review. The few places bike manufacturers hide the expense of the rear suspension are the drivetrain, the fork, and the brakes. It's interesting to see what bike manufacturers choose to sacrifice in a full suspension compared to a hardtail. So this begs the question, are hardtails better value than softtails? Spec-wise, yes. Bike manufacturers somehow have to sacrifice some things to add the extra suspension. They do this by using lower-end components. This is not to say that these components are bad, they're just not as high-end. But the softtail does rank supreme in one big category. This category is, having a soft tail. Full suspension bikes are more capable, and that can mean a lot. Now, I understand that the value of having a full suspension is very dependent on where you live and your riding preferences. I do think that most mountain bikers do see some value in a full suspension. So depending on how much you value a real shock, a full suspension could actually have a better value than a hardtail. That's up for you to decide. Comment down below what you think the value of a rear shock brings. Do you think it is worth sacrificing a few specs for a rear shock? If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like this video and you are subscribed. If you are a hardtail fanatic, share this video with your full squish knob. Thank you for watching this video, and most importantly, have the best day ever.